Talk hard and enjoy the mindgasm. The Intellectual Podcast starts now.
Welcome to the 160th episode of the Intellectual Podcast. I'm Dave Dawson.
And I am Krista Naomi.
And we have a very cool guest on the show today. Mm-hmm. He is probably best known for his role on the new Star Trek films. Mm-hmm. He has been in both of J.J. Abrams' Star Trek movies and the new one coming up, Star Trek Beyond. It's Jason Matthew Smith, also known as Cupcake.
Cupcake.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very, very fine. Thank you. So,
Star Trek Beyond's coming up. I'm super stoked for it. Mm-hmm. I know there were grumblings about the first trailer that came out. People kind of got a little iffy, about Justin Lin directing, but it looks really good to me. I really love the next set of trailers that have come out. How was it working with a different director on the new Star Trek film?
Well, Justin... yeah, he's very different from JJ. They're similar in some ways and they're different in others. Their similarities is they're both geniuses. And I think Justin is very tech heavy and he's very tech savvy, I should say. And visually, I think this film is going to be spectacular. I think it is going to rival something like Avatar visually.
Wow.
Wow. Like, I couldn't be any more excited for this film. Okay, cool.
And it's premiering at Comic-Con, is that correct?
Yes, sir. On the 20th.
That's a big deal. That's a huge... That's never happened before.
It's pretty awesome.
It's a pretty awesome thing, yeah.
You're going to be at Comic-Con for that?
I am, yes. I'm going to be at the premiere and doing signings and taking pictures with fans and stuff Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Oh, nice. You're going to be here most of the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
San Diego's our hometown. So.
Oh, really?
When you come down, I
love San Diego.
You come down, we need to hang out.
Absolutely. This is going to be my first time at Comic-Con too. I've never, actually, it's my first time at any convention.
No way. Oh my gosh, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, it's going to be my first time too. So
I'm so excited to see what exactly it is. Mm-hmm. Everybody's been forewarning me that it's like overwhelming and amazing, and you can't get enough of it. So I'm really my expectations are very high.
Well, it's an insane level of just geek energy.
And who doesn't love geek energy?
Well, the city of San Diego seems to just thrive on it every summer. It's something I love personally. But yeah, it's a cool experience. It's like hanging out with 300,000 of your closest nerdy friends, and some of them are dressed up and some of them smell really bad, but you're okay with it.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're there because they want to be there. And this year is going to be really exciting because last year was, Star Wars was the big focus, obviously. But now this is Star Trek here, So, yeah, that's a great first con to go to, is premiering your huge film at the con. Everyone's going to be so excited for this film.
Yeah, and it's the 50th anniversary of Star Trek as well.
Right.
So, and the movie is releasing nationwide on July 22nd, which happens during Comic-Con.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge.
They ought to just call it Star Trek Comic-Con this year. That's what it should be called.
Not only are they doing the premiere on the 20th, but the San Diego Symphony is actually going to be playing the soundtrack alongside the film, too, which is pretty cool. And I believe it's the first outdoor IMAX screening ever.
Yeah.
That's correct. And I cannot wait to see that and experience that. It's going to be like a rock show.
I wish I could go. I wish I could go. Naomi might be able to go. Kristen might be able to go. She's got a professional pass for Comic-Con this year.
Yeah, I'm going to be going. So you and I are going to be figuring this stuff out together, Jason. It's going to be a huge first.
Oh, come on. Just, hop the fence.
Right? No, there's so much more security now. They're cracking down. They're really, because people, they try and like make fake badges, and they try and sneak in, and I think people do it on purpose too. A lot of times they just want to sneak in.
Where's the Star Trek transporters when you need them?
Oh,
you can just beam inside.
This is what we need. We need Jason's ideas. Good call.
So, Jason, how did you land the role of Cupcake?
Well, I did the first two films, same role, and it's kind of I auditioned back in 2008, and I didn't know what I was auditioning for at the time. My agent said he thinks it's Star Trek, but he wasn't really sure, or he wasn't allowed to tell me.
Typical J.J. Abrams secrecy.
Yeah. And when I went in to I didn't get any, script or anything before I went in. I go in, and all the names are like, Farmer number 1, Farmer number 2, John Boy, these kind of names. And I read for it on tape, and then it came back about a week later and said I booked it. And I really had no idea what the role was. Because the confidentiality for the script was so tight that, the only way that I could even see the scene that I was in is I had to go to the studio and basically sign away my life if I revealed anything. And then I only got my scenes that were watermarked with my name on it. And, I got put in a little office, and they had a security guard outside the door. I mean, it was very tight. It's every one of them, the intellectual property is very valuable.
Right.
And, they don't want to take any chances of anything getting leaked out.
That's amazing.
But, so I did it and had a great time with it. I didn't expect to get called in to do the second one. And I actually had a much bigger role than what the final product was of mine in Into Darkness. But a lot of my scenes got cut out because it led to the death of my character in number 2.
Oh,
but
no.
when the final version came out, they didn't kill me. So I was like, I went to go see it with my wife, and I was like, "Oh, hon, this is the part where I'm going to get killed right here." and then it didn't happen. And I was like, I'm in this screening with a bunch of, crew and everything like that at the Paramount Studios, and I just yelled out, "I'm alive!" And but even still, I wasn't expecting to do a third one, and then I heard the third one was coming out. Nobody was calling me yet or anything, and then I just sent a little email to Simon Pegg, and I said, Simon, because I heard he was doing, he had gotten hired to do the writing for it,
right?
And I said, Simon, if you have anything for me in this third one, I'd love to do it. And 20 minutes later, he emailed me back and said, "Oh yeah, we already got you covered. Hope to see you up in Vancouver. We got to keep the band together."
Nice.
And I thought that was just so cool of him to do that.
Must be nice to have folks like Simon Pegg, just like in your email contacts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a funny thing with that is when I first did the first film, I didn't know any of the cast. They weren't super huge at the time. Most of them were unknown. Simon had done, I think, Hot Fuzz at the time. That was his big movie.
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead.
But, Shaun
Mission Impossible 3. He'd done a few things.
Well, before I'm talking before the first Star Trek reboot.
Yep.
So I got to know him real well. I invited him to go golfing because he was in town without his wife, and he bailed on me because he had other stuff to do. But I had his email, and I just out of respect, I never emailed him for 8 years until Beyond.
Smart.
I just resisted because I didn't want to be that kind of a guy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And And so I emailed him, and I was fortunate enough and blessed enough for him to be able to email me back and write me in something in the third one.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that is great.
So you got to put the beat down on Kirk in the first film.
Yes.
How'd that feel to know that you were the guy who got to put the beat down on one of like film's iconic macho guys, you know, like.
Yeah. The first time you meet him too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fun scene. We shot that in American Legion at Hollywood in their little basement area down there, and they tricked it out with all the sets and everything. But it was that was a crazy day. Chris Pine ended up breaking one of the stunt guys' nose in rehearsal.
Oh shoot!
Just totally eggshelled it.
Whoa!
Which was crazy. And then my stunt double, because in the scene I get kicked over a table, and I did it once, and I was like, I don't know about this. And she just said, no worries, we got your guy here, he'll do it. My guy did it and ended up cutting his head open on a napkin, one of those metal napkin things that sits on the table, napkin holder.
That's a hard day at work.
and as he's on his way out with the paramedics, you know, I was like, dude, thank you so much. And he's like, he just scowled at me.
God bless the stuntmen, right? Like, those guys put themselves through hell.
They're amazing. They are amazing, seriously. And like the nicest people I've ever met, ever.
They earn their living.
Yeah,
I'll
they
tell
do.
you that much. That is a tough job.
Yep.
So how did you start acting? I think I saw that you went to college in Ohio.
I mean,
Illinois,
for me, I think it started way back when I was a kid. I my father was a preacher and an air traffic controller, and
that's an interesting
I
mix.
always make the joke that that's the guy you want controlling your plane, because God.
Because either he's guiding you by divine hand, or he can pray with you at the end.
Right?
Exactly.
That's funny.
So I used to watch him preach, and I think that kind of influenced me. Of like, you know, he's up on a stage doing his thing. And, you know, he used to take him, and my mom used to take me to go see, you know, Star Wars when it first came out, and also Rocky, and these kind of movies just really moved me. And, you know, when later in life, you know, I was thinking I was going to be a doctor or something like that. And I never thought you could actually make a living at acting.
Wait,
and I auditioned for my university, got in, and you know, I thought actors were only for, you know, people who had careers in acting were like Harrison Ford or something, you know, like these megalithic people who had like super incredible powers. So I've been very fortunate. I kind of consider myself a blue collar working class actor. I might not be, you know, an everyday face that people recognize, which I'm working on that. I'm hoping to be that kind of an actor, but you know, for the last, you know, 20, 25 years, it's been a work in progress, and I'm just so blessed and so fortunate to have had some success at it.
Well, you know, we talk on our show here all the time that, you know, actors and most of us who make film, we don't have careers. We have a whole series of gigs, just one after the other. And eventually we look back and go, oh, we strung together a career.
Yeah.
And we do it through sheer force of will and, you know, just an undying determination to create.
Yeah, exactly. You have to. You got to love what you do. And, you know, I once met Edward James Olmos. He came and gave a little lecture to our school. And I asked him at the end of his speech, you know, one-on-one, what does it take to make it? What's the number one thing it takes to make it? And I was expecting him to say something like talent or, you know, but he said persistence. You know, if you just keep at it, you'll eventually get your opportunity. And I kind of feel like I'm failing my way to success because, you know, with with auditioning, you audition a ton, you maybe book 2%, 3% of all the auditions you go on. And you can't let that stuff discourage you. Mm-hmm. And, you got to find things also to keep you creative and keep you in the game with writing your own scripts or producing your own scripts. And that's sort of what drives me is I'm a storyteller. And so no matter what, I'm going to stay in this. This is my life, and I'll find a way to make it happen. And thankfully, I have a great support team around me and a great wife that, really supports my career and wants to see it succeed.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's hard to do this without a support system. I mean,
oh yeah. I can't even, I don't think I would have a career if I didn't have the team that I have in place. They're constantly, working their butts off to find, opportunities for me to work and opportunities to create new stories. And that drive is what, helps drive me as well.
That's fantastic. Mm-hmm. So what do you have on the horizon after Star Trek Beyond? Is there anything you've been working on that we're going to be able to look forward to later in the year or early next?
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, like I said, of creating those opportunities, my wife and I started working on a script about maybe 6 months ago, and we shot a little teaser for it, and we've been showing it to investors, and finally we got some investment money going, and we're right now in pre-production on it. It's a romantic comedy, and we're going to shoot that in LA probably sometime this fall or early next year. And then after that, we have another one that we're in pre-production on, that one as well, that's going to be shooting in Morocco.
Wow.
It's
nice.
Action comedy.
Very nice. Mm-hmm. So you're out making your own way.
And who knows what happens in the meantime, Hopefully with Star Trek, a lot of people will see and say, hey, I need that guy in my show.
Well, through 2 Star Treks so far, I know I enjoyed you giving the beatdown to Kirk at the beginning of Star Trek.
Yeah.
But then I enjoyed seeing your character come back later in the same film. And then I felt the same enjoyment of your character's return in Into Darkness. I like the familiarity of the peripheral characters, because that's what a ship is. I'm a member
of the Enterprise. Mm-hmm. It kind of keeps the world, the world. Mm-hmm. It's, that make-believe world real.
Yeah, it feels like a real functioning ship with a real crew, not just 5 people on the bridge,
Exactly.
Which I think is wonderful. I think it's wonderful that they keep bringing your character back. And I'll tell you right now, Trekkers, Trekkies, whichever one they prefer to be called at the moment, remember you.
That's great.
And as a longtime Trek fan myself, who's gone to several Trek conventions, I love following the careers of Star Trek stars. And we've had Chase Masterson from Deep Space Nine on the show. We've had Pat Tallman on the show, who did stunts and whatnot with Next Generation.
Greg
Deep
Daniel
Space Nine. We've had
well.
Greg Daniel, who's played characters. We love Star Trek actors, and we love watching their careers and where they're going. So I'm hugely excited to see what you do with your wife on your upcoming project. Really interested in what you're doing in Morocco. Morocco is just cool.
Yeah, that one's going to be cool. It's originally where my wife's ancestry comes from. Even though my wife was raised in France, she's actually French. But we still have some extended family there in Morocco and stuff, and that would be really cool to be able to spend some time there and be able to do work at the same time.
Yeah, one of my friends who's a soccer coach here in Southern California, he's Moroccan. He's always telling me about Morocco, and you need to come to Morocco. I would love to go to Morocco. When you taking me?
I usually spend about a month or 2 every other year there.
Nice.
Over the last 10 years, I've done that back and forth with my wife. And I love it, man. It's an amazing country. The people are great. And, you know, people sometimes get a little worried because it's a Muslim country, but a lot of people don't know that Morocco was the first country to recognize the sovereignty of the U.S. So they've always been a very close ally of ours, and I've never had any problems there. The people are wonderful. The food is incredible, and there's so much to see, so much to do.
Well, I think if you travel, might be a
little bit of a problem because there's a lot of distractions as far as fun things to do.
Yeah, but I think if you travel enough, you find that in general, people around the world just want to live their lives. They're not.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not all radicals, as the news portrays the rest of the world as being. People I think generally want to raise their families.
I encourage people too to get out there and travel and see the world, because it's a very different perspective.
Yes, absolutely.
Get out there.
Yeah, we're huge proponents of that ourselves. Mm-hmm. As two people who spent the last month and a half on the road.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, Jason, you'll be at Comic-Con for 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Folks can come find you, I believe, under the sales pavilion.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you get one of the brochures, you'll be able to find it in there. I'm not really sure where exactly it is because I've never really been there. So
it's a big building, but the sales pavilion is actually the easy part to find. It's at the very top.
Okay, cool.
But we encourage everybody to come out and say hi to you.
Oh yeah.
Buy your photographs, sign some autographs.
That'd be great.
Get their photo with you. Again, huge fans of Star Trek. I'm so honored to have you on our show, even if for just a little bit of time today. I know you're very busy with everything coming up. Comic-Con's just around the corner. The premiere is just around the corner. So we're extremely grateful for you coming on. If you're at all available sometime down the road, we'd love to have you on for a full episode. We usually do these for like an hour and really just kind of get into the nitty gritty of stuff. But while you're here in San Diego, send us an email. Let us know if you got any free time. We'd love to meet up with you. I think Naomi, Kristen here, she'll probably stop by your table at Comic-Con anyway, just to say hi.
Oh, you betcha. I can't just walk in there and not say hi. I'll send you an email prior to me going to your table. But
I'm going to be covering Nerd HQ across the street, so I won't be in Comic-Con myself. So,
well, you'll get a big hug.
Oh, great! Well, I'm
by the table.
I'm sold. That's all that takes.
So enjoy Comic-Con. It's crazy. It's just a big ball of geek insanity, but it is wonderful. Yeah. It really is. It's wonderful. It's a unique experience, and you're going to get to experience it in a way that many people don't.
Yeah, they're going to be there for you, Jason.
You're there for that.
It's going to be so infectious. Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be really great.
I can't even wait. I'm going to speed up the clocks right now.
I'm super envious of your experience at the moment, because that's going to be incredible.
Yeah, it's going to be a big deal.
If nothing else, I want to have you on after Comic-Con to tell us how it felt.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Let's do the follow-up one.
All right. we will make sure we do that with you after Comic-Con.
Where I have no voice and I'm screeching to talk because, I've been talking so much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, and if you can squeeze away, like I said, we'll be doing stuff over at Nerd HQ, which is literally just across the street at the Children's Museum.
Okay.
If you can squeeze away, come talk to me there. We'll be doing stuff for our YouTube channel and whatnot. And we're there really up until everything closes every day for the 4 days. Love to have you come down and talk to us there too. So,
all right.
So you can see the insanity outside of the convention center too, because it's all of downtown San Diego becomes this wall of just nerd Christmas.
Exactly. It's nice. Nerd Christmas. Mm-hmm. It's fantastic.
So cool. All right. Well, we'll let you go because I know you got other people you need to talk to today. And, thank you so much for chatting with us. And we'll see you at Comic-Con, and then we'll definitely get the recap with you afterwards.
All right. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much, Jason. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, Jason. Bye-bye.
Bye.
What a nice guy.
He's super nice.
Not at all like Cupcake.
I don't. Isn't that funny how that happens?
That's called acting.
It's called acting. Usually play your opposites better. You play your opposites well. So usually those people who play like the really sweet, characters, probably not in real life. I'm just saying. Just saying. You're like, no, but he's such a nice guy on TV. It's like, that's on TV. He's getting paid to be nice. Okay. Yeah. So no, and the thing about it is they all are really wonderful. That's why you're talking about, these Star Trek actors, like they're a particular breed. And the fact that he can just, email Simon Pegg and be like, hey, so am I in this film? He's like, yeah, dude, totally.
Keep the band together.
Love that. Love it. They stick together. They are like they're on a ship. They're a team now,
Yep.
And that, can you imagine any Trek that didn't have that team for the whole season? It'd be weird.
And I can totally picture him sitting in Paramount's theater going, I'm alive.
But can you imagine as a professional actor, like being in Hollywood and they're like, what, they didn't kill me off? Like that it's usually the opposite. Okay. You're like, man, it's going to be great. Oh, like you're completely cut out of the film. Like, or they don't use your scenes at all. And you're like, you invited your whole friends and family to the premiere and now you're not in the movie. Like that stuff happens.
Yeah,
so
it does all the time.
To have him not just in the film, but going to be in the third installment of this film.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This is going to be huge. When I found out about this, about Star Trek Beyond premiering at Comic-Con on IMAX outside with the orchestra, I was like, this has never been done.
I had you read the article.
I was freaked. Do you remember my face?
Yeah.
I was freaking out.
I sat there and watched your whole demeanor change while you were reading the article. I was like, yep.
This is happening. I don't know how it's going to happen, but we're going to make it happen. Oh my gosh.
We need to find a boat to take into the bay and try and get an angle where we can see it.
Friends with boats.
Friends with boats. Friends with boats.
I know a couple off the top of my head, so
I know a couple too.
They will be getting emails. I'm just going to email people from now on. I'm going to pull a Jason and just do everything. I'm not going to text. I'm not going to Facebook. I'm going to be like, check your email.
I need to email Captain Carey. That would be a good boat to sit on. Yeah.
Maybe we're gonna make this happen. What do you say? We just need to have transporters, dude.
Yeah, where are the transporters?
Where are they when we need them?
Of course, in Star Trek lore, they didn't exist at this point either.
No. So,
I am looking forward to Star Trek Beyond. I know a lot of people.
I know, and that
kind of iffy about, like, classic Trek nerds are iffy about it
because you throw in Fast and the director Fast and the Furious
but I was listening to Simon Pegg on I think it was on WTF the other day. Was it on WTF? I don't remember. It might have been Nerdist. And he was talking about writing this script, and the thing that has me intrigued is the angle that he's taking on the story, in that they're analyzing what Starfleet actually means in the galaxy. Like, because in the original series, it was, UN in space,
basically.
And so they're going to tackle that concept in this film of, is it a colonizing force, or is it in fact a United Nations type force? And what does that exactly mean within the context of intergalactic politics and societies and cultures? And that's a pretty big subject matter to take on, because it's actually like putting the critique on the original series all together.
Yeah. Well, and that's
cool.
But that also is
but then they'll also have big bang.
Well, that's a huge part of Star Trek as a whole. Like that's that underlying structure of where the show takes all its, characters and situations, and, every battle is from that structure. Yeah. Why are they encountering these new beings? Why can they, the etiquette in which they have to, go about their ways of communicating, and
it's everything that I wanted Enterprise to be.
Exactly.
The TV show. And they didn't quite achieve it. Yeah. If you go back and watch Enterprise, very good show. Actually.
Oh, absolutely.
But it wasn't quite what it should have been. So I'm really eager to see what Simon Pegg, and I forget who the other writer is, what they've come up with for this film. And then as a filmmaker, as a director, I'm very curious to see how Justin Lin handles the kind of cerebral side of Star Trek and the kind of new action side of Star Trek and his Fast and the Furious background and how that all ties together. Now, the one thing I am encouraged by is as Fast and the Furious went on, and I don't know if you watched all those movies.
I don't think I watched all of them.
Okay. A lot of people phased out after like the third one
or fourth. Yeah.
Tokyo Drift kind of lost a percentage of the original group.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting is Justin Lin managed to come in and completely retool that film from just being about action sequences to being about family.
And it's true, though. Yeah.
And that's what Star Trek is. These guys are family. The
lot of
crew is a
sense.
family.
Yeah.
They're in the midst of all this big intergalactic mess of things that happen to them. But at the core is this group of people who are forced to live together by their job, but learn and grow together into a little core unit family. And so I'm really interested to see if Justin Lin is able to bring what he did in the Fast and the Furious franchise, where he very successfully navigated moving it from just being an explosion car chase franchise into this thing of family. And I want to see if he's able to accomplish that same feeling with the Star Trek crew.
That's a really interesting thought. that didn't really occur to me at first, but now that you're talking about it, I think that's what everybody really loved. You cannot make 7 films basically. And there's some people that joke and they're like, it's the same film 7 times. It's just in a different country, but it's not.
It's not.
And
it's turning into spy
characters
movies.
evolve, and you actually, I know, and well, yeah, they're like jumping from like out of one building into like a lower level of another building, like through windows and stuff. And some of the stuff, you think they can't do anything different, and then all of a sudden they're like jumping out of a rocket ship from space, and then they get into a car, but when it comes down to it, like these characters, the actors themselves too love working with
and it comes across
each
on
other.
screen.
So they've done 7 films because they wanted to do 7 films.
They're filming the 8th.
I know. So yeah, it is. It's very much.
And I thought about it when I watched the last one, 7, and they got to the end with Paul Walker,
dude. Oh.
And I was bawling my eyes out.
I was so sad. Everyone was.
And I sat there wondering, I'm like, why am I crying so much for this? I was like, I've sat with these characters through 7 films.
Yeah.
And I've watched not only the characters in the film develop and grow and become a little family unit.
Yep.
But I've watched these actors do the same. And so the crying I had at the end of that movie was as much about feeling just kind of the raw pain, because I've lost a lot of people, and I felt that raw pain that I knew they were all going through.
Yeah.
And the respect that they went through to try and complete that film, because it is what Paul Walker would have wanted.
Yeah.
And figuring out how to make it work, and then writing this beautiful send-off for the character
and him. Which was really well done.
Really beautiful. And
really well done.
And it was so, it was symbolically done. Which, for all the criticism.
And for an action, quote unquote, action movie.
For all the criticisms that those Fast and the Furious movies are given, that was incredibly artistically handled. So subtly and beautifully performed by the actors. So subtly and beautifully performed by the cinematographer. I'm in awe of what they were able to do at the end of that movie. I'm in awe of how they've managed to shift that franchise from film to film, and it's not the same thing every movie. It really isn't.
It's not.
It's a bank heist in one. It's a spy film in another. You know? The only thing that's consistent is that they drive fast cars.
Yeah. Super cool fast cars.
But even that is becoming less and less of the emphasis as it goes on, which is fascinating.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see what he brings to Star Trek.
Now I'm even more excited to see this movie now. Like everything keeps adding on to this movie being awesome. So no, I'm looking forward to that too. I think they really made right now, just talking specifically about those particular qualities that he has as a director, I think is really important to the film. I didn't think about that before, and it's really going to be It's really going to be applicable when I see it. Hopefully from the water on a boat. Shh, don't tell anybody we're sneaking into the bay.
So anyway, yeah, Comic-Con's just around the corner.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I got my professional badge. Obviously, you saw me light up. Literally Nerdmas, like total nerd Christmas. I said that to you too.
We were driving
up to
LA, where we met up with Bowman that day.
Yeah, we did.
Bowman Modine on the 100th episode of the Intellectual Podcast. Go back and check it out. But we were driving up to LA and we were stuck in traffic. It was not a good day to be driving.
We were stuck in traffic
and
going up to LA. That's
how did
weird.
you make yourself feel better about being stuck in traffic?
I opened up a pretty much blank envelope because I can't put like
plain white envelope.
I was like, this is it, because I was like, oh, I thought it was going to come in an envelope, like a big like yellow envelope. What am I thinking? Like they're not going to be like, hey, Comic-Con this way, steal this. Like it's going to be bright, like it's going to be shiny and neon green and
super plain, super plain white.
The shape
envelope.
of a lightsaber. Like everyone would know that's your Comic-Con badge.
You cut it open and it was like a golden glow came out of the envelope.
Yeah, it was like the golden ticket that those kids got in Willy Wonka, and I was like, it's my golden ticket, dude. I'm like,
so she spent the next 3 hours in
just
traffic
staring at it
with it planted on the dashboard, staring at it.
Yeah.
And smiling.
Yeah.
Like an 8-year-old girl.
And I was like, Dave, if you get mad being in traffic, just look over at this.
And I said, I don't have one of those, Naomi.
I was like, but you can.
She's like, I'm not rubbing it in your face. I'm like, well, you're pretty much just shoving it in my face.
I know, but I wasn't doing it for you. I was shoving it in my face. That's what I was doing.
I was in the vicinity.
I know. But it's my first time, and so
it's great. I've never had a professional badge to Comic-Con.
I don't know how that works. How did I get one you didn't? Because you have to go through a whole process. I won't go into it, but you have to go through a whole process, and they have to approve you. I had to send like my credentials in and fill out this paperwork and send a headshot so they knew what I looked like. And so I was like,
I've been filling all that crap out for years.
I don't.
Still haven't given.
And then you have to go online, like at a certain time on their website, and it's like a pool still.
Yep.
So then you're approved to go into the website. They give you a password and all this stuff. Like it's a big deal. You have to go through a lot. It's like going to the White House, man.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a big deal. I'm sorry. Again, I'm shoving it in my face, not yours, please.
No, it's okay. I got press credentials for Nerd HQ.
I know. I just feel like I won the nerd lottery. You know what I mean?
I just wish you and I were going to be able to like do the same thing at Comic-Con this year. It would have been nice.
But I get to jump across the street.
Because last year you were working.
I can just bounce back and forth. Yeah, I was actually working it. So I went so I was around Comic-Con. I got to walk through Comic-Con. Like I did my radio show like over Skype through it. So like describe it to everyone in Chicago, like they could even comprehend like being in the middle of that. But so I just got a little taste of it. Like I've been, baby steps. So that was good. Cause I think it would have been pretty overwhelming this year for me if I just like jumped right into it.
Yeah.
Now that I was out there, got a good feel of the fans and Hall H and, that what I need to be prepared for. We have been filming, some segments for tonight in San Diego for Comic-Con, and Comic-Con put these guys through some boot camps. And so
I know I was there.
I was like, man, maybe I should be, I know you were there. Maybe I should be like training right now too. I'm like, man, am I ready? Am I ready for this?
Nobody's ever ready.
I know. So I'm mentally, I'm like, I am there. Like I'm already there. I'm already sleeping outside. I'm camped out for like the next 2 weeks in my brain. I'm so excited, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, and people are asking if I'm going to, cosplay, and I have no idea because if I do it, it has to be perfect because I won't do it if it's not perfect. So I just won't because I'll feel lame. I'll feel so lame because that nerd judgment is like way higher than like regular people judgment.
Well, the thing you got to understand about Comic-Con, is there's so many people there cosplaying, that nerd judgment is actually fairly low for the day.
Really? That's
because
good.
There's a lot of shitty cosplay.
And it's like it's
a lot of really crappy cosplay, but you admire people for taking the effort.
Exactly. So, well, and but
then there's a lot of really amazing cosplay, but those are the folks who generally are competing.
Thousands. They're usually because I never knew how much it took to actually if you're gonna be a character from like Halo or something, or you're gonna do a Boba Fett the correct way or something, like these costumes are really well done, and a lot of times they have to actually get them custom made because they're not the same size.
Quite frankly, what you wore to the Comic-Con shoot, something like that is just fine.
Really? Because I was comfortable. I was super comfy.
And I would recommend that over full-on cosplay.
Yeah, I'm not
comfortable.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, okay. See, it's major. You can't see Dave's face right now, but if you've ever put on heels and been dancing in them for a couple hours that are like a size too small, you know not to walk around that stuff.
Yeah.
For me, I do promotions. I work them. So the last thing I want to do is walk around in heels and be like worried that my butt's hanging out of like a super skimpy outfit. Or
because the other thing to remember is there's really nowhere to sit down.
Yeah, you're not sitting.
So you're there all day long walking on hard concrete.
Oof.
You know?
No.
Because in the booths, there's a little bit of padding. The walkways don't really have padding.
Yeah.
It's like bare carpet on top of bare concrete.
Ugh.
So it's hard. It's hard on the legs, hard on the knees. If you're wearing heels, like I know girls who've worn heels to Comic-Con.
I know, I've seen it.
End of the day, they're just miserable.
Yeah.
Don't be miserable.
Yeah.
Be comfortable.
Be comfortable.
Be geeky and have a good time. That's the key.
Yeah. We should have told Jason now we're heels. Do you think he knows? Okay.
I think he'll be all right.
He'll be okay. But I mean, that's it. Really, when it comes down to it, that's what I want to do, is just be able to have fun. I want to be able to, nerd out and just be able to not worry about, if I'm getting blisters on my feet or, whatever. I'm going to have to deal with, is there going to be a lot of kids there?
There's a fair amount of kids, especially on Sunday. Sunday is family day.
Oh, okay. So I'll definitely be a nerd.
I imagine you'll be a nerd HQ on
Sunday. Definitely. That's going to be my day. Yeah.
Which actually wouldn't be bad, because by the time we get to Sunday, I'm really burnt out.
Yeah.
So to have you around would be good on Sunday.
Yeah, it's just going to be, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be, it's a great time. The buzz around here, around Comic-Con, it's like, it looks like Disney World.
Yeah.
It's the best thing I've ever seen, because it's like my holiday. Like, that's how it feels. It feels like Halloween for like 3 days, and everyone's just like, you're only cool unless you're nerdy. And it's like, this is my place. This is my place I want to be, So yeah, I'm excited.
We're also going to be covering GamerCon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which is Brendan's.
Yep. Brendan McNeil.
Down the
Which
road.
episode was that?
Off the top of my head, I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was within the last 20.
Okay.
So somewhere around 130.
Okay.
I think Bowman Modine's going to come down and be our correspondent for GamerCon.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on. There's NerdCon going on. That's
NerdCon's a few weeks later, I believe.
I think so, but it's still, I think it's Escondido.
I did send them an email. I'm like, hey, where's those press passes set? They're like, we're working through it. I'm like, okay, good, just checking. Thanks. You gotta be adamant about that. So hopefully we'll get in on that too.
So that'd be great. Then we do like the whole, not the trifecta, but the quadruplitisms of nerd.
Star Trek, the main Star Trek convention in Vegas is usually in August as well.
Oh, wow.
You want to go to Vegas?
I mean, I've been to Vegas, but never for trekking. No.
You want to go geek out with me in Vegas?
Yeah, let's do it.
Be a totally different experience than you're probably used to.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've had pretty much one kind of gauge. It's like, Comic-Con here in San Diego, and then just like not even close in Vegas. It's just all clubs.
The interesting thing about the Star Trek convention in Vegas, and they started doing this a couple of years ago, is the main hall is large enough to accommodate all the tickets they sell to the event.
Really?
So you never have to feel like you are going to miss any of the main stage panels.
Cool.
You might be sitting way
far back. That's okay. They have screens and stuff.
Yeah, but you're there, and it's awesome.
Cool.
So it's totally cool, and they limit the number of tickets that they sell, so they don't sell too many, and people feel like they have to miss something.
That's cool. That's really cool. I'm glad they keep that in mind for the fans, because it really is about them.
Yeah.
So. And
pretty much everybody who goes out there and does a panel at the Star Trek convention then goes and sits at a signing table afterwards. And, so you have all the opportunity in the world. We had talked before about trying to get a podcast table at Star Trek Vegas. We might need to
we might need to look into that.
Revisit that.
Mm-hmm.
We've had enough Star Trek people on the show at this point that we've got some credibility for it.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
I say why not?
Wheels are spinning.
Let's do it.
It might be too late for this year, but definitely we should look for next year.
Okay.
Cool. Well, great to get to talk to Cupcake.
I just love that his character's name is Cupcake. It's so funny. It's perfect. I'm stoked, and I'll be able to.
Definitely have to swing by and see him.
I have to. No, I definitely will.
And drag his ass over to Nerd HQ.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So we can get him on the YouTube channel
for sure. I think that would be cool for him to see, as long as he's done with his Comic-Con stuff. If he goes across the street, it'll be a little more intimate for him to kind of see, these other panels and stuff, and he might know people there.
I'm sure he will.
So
Bill Shatner was there last year.
Exactly. I forgot about that. Yeah, he was.
That was a hell of a panel.
The panels I was seeing too, I was like, this is hilarious. Like
Nerd HQ is great.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
At this point, I view Comic-Con as the place to go for the show floor. Because the show floor can't be beat. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's overwhelmingly huge.
Yeah.
To be honest, WonderCon's a little more like psychologically manageable to stare at, but you got to experience the show floor at Comic-Con at least once. It's insanity. But then I think Nerd HQ is actually the better place to go for panels because it's intimate. They only sell like 200 seats.
Yeah, it's super. I mean, everyone in there, you're comfortable, but it's still, you feel like you're getting a chance to actually talk to the actors and directors and
close enough to see them.
And laugh with them and stuff. Yeah, exactly. Because the bigger crowds,
You have to pay for your tickets to watch them at Nerd HQ, and that goes to Operation Smile, which helps kids with cleft palates all around the world, which is amazing and feels good.
Yeah, so you're doing a good thing.
So,
they raised a lot of money last year.
Yeah, they did. I think the best Comic-Con experience is to kind of combine those two things.
Yeah.
And now that we know about GamerCon, spend a little time over at GamerCon too.
Yep. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good week. It's going to be a good week.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
It's just 2 weeks away, right?
I know. If you don't see me, you'll find me in a room somewhere locked with my professional badge. I'll just be staring at it. Just going to look at it lovingly.
Just going to be staring at it?
Fine. Won't wear it or snuggle with it a little bit. Fine.
Admit it. You've already snuggled with it.
Maybe I have. Can do whatever I want with it, David.
Yes, you can. And I will let my brain figure out what all that is. Thanks for joining us on the 160th episode of the Intellectual Podcast. You can follow us online at theintellectual.com or ixe.us if you're, not sure how to spell the intellectual. And you can find us on Twitter at the Intellectual, Instagram at the Intellectual, YouTube Intellectual Network, and you can find us on Facebook Intellectual Entertainment, and you can like my new fan page.
You just got a new fan page, yep.
At The Real David S. Dawson on Facebook.
Yep.
And you are at Kristen Naomi Garcia.
That's
on
correct.
Facebook.
Pretty easy.
And and you can follow Kristen on Twitter as well at KNAOG1. And and
Instagram, all the social medias. I'm on, and YouTube.
So follow us. And we should be available if you're listening online right now and you are an Android user or just a fan of Google Music. The Intellectual Podcast should be appearing in the podcast directory for Google Play's app sometime today. So
that's exciting.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Another way to experience the podcast, a very convenient way for Android users. There is, in fact, a Google Music or Google Play Music app for iPhone as well. But, on the iPhone, you can find us on the podcast app, which is super simple too. So those are the best ways to listen to the show, in my opinion. Allows you to listen to us in your car, pick up where you left off, all that sort of stuff. Feel free to listen on the website if you want, but the apps, I think, are the best way to go. So until next week, when we come at you with God knows who.
Somebody awesome.
I have been your host, as always, David S. Dawson.
And I am Kristen Naomi.
And we thank you so much for your time, and we will talk soon.
See you guys.
Hello there, citizens. I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the floaty that will not flush no matter how many times you try in the toilet bowl of crime. I am Darkwing Duck, telling you please, talk hard and enjoy the mindgasm. Whatever the heck that means. After all, you are watching Intellectual Podcast with your ears.